ParaWorks is a new way for drivers to find high-paying job opportunities. You can claim these job offers
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the premiere of The Last Mile. Was debating on whether this would be a bi-weekly or weekly show. I'm going to go with weekly. I think as we come into spring, there's going to be a lot to talk about in this space. I happen to be putting probably about 90% of my time on gig apps goes to the last mile space, and about 80+% of that goes specifically to Curri. But again, we're dealing with some market to market stuff, and each of these apps does have different things to offer. So let me give a little heads up, and then I'll check on chat. But I just want to kind of introduce what this show is going to be. It's not just going to be about Curri. It's going to be about Mothership, Dispatch, Amazon Flex, Roadie, GoShare, Runner, a Bungee Driver. We're going to do VO, not VHO, but VO, which is a medical courier. We're going to be talking about all of them, even some off-brand website apps. So I'm going to get them all together in a list. There's about 22. I'm active on about 5 or 6. I use about 3. So we'll kind of get to that over the weeks and stuff. But the plan is for about a 45-minute to an hour, probably an hour. And if it goes a little over, but it's kind of a midday thing that I just want to do. And what's going to happen is that every week I'm just going to kind of open it up to, obviously, first to drivers who are doing any of these platforms. Like if you're doing any of them, even VHO, Amazon Flex, like I said, like those kind of things. If you're doing those, Roadie, like come on, let's start talking about last mile. Let's start talking about prices, what you're seeing against the other apps, because I want people to understand the last mile space, because I feel like while the rest of the spaces are taking a beating, the last mile space is growing. And I know a lot of people believe or are not as aware that the logistics behind keeping our trucking up to date and stuff is way far behind still. Our supply chain is still a mess. It's just not headline news on mainstream media. But it's if you you can go to ridesharerodeo.com. That website of mine has been around for 6 years, and it'll redirect you to the other website. But on there is a story posted every day, or at least a blog post with 10 articles in it. And on there, you can find everything. Or you can just go and look. I mean, if you go look at the supply chain situation, whether or not you've been keeping up with it, you'll find a ton on the reality behind it. When we were all worried about it around Christmas, we're really not that much better off now. AB5 is still a problem in California, and they pulled the rights to 70,000 independent truckers, so they don't have that right anymore. But even when they get it back, like I've done a lot of dissecting into this, and even when they do get the supply chain back in order, I mean, we're looking at years to get it back on track, both using freight and using train. So we've just really dropped the ball. The pandemic didn't help. And then coming out of the pandemic, having these fights over independent contractorship, and one of, obviously, clearly the biggest problem being California and AB5. I will be dropping a short on AB5 today, right after this video. It'd probably take me about 10 minutes to get it uploaded, and you guys should watch it. It's 3 minutes, and it's a teaser to tomorrow's piece that is the Para Presents this week. where David and I invited Karen Anderson on. If you guys have watched Karen with Kim Cavan and all those, but it was just Karen from California, who's an AB5 expert, um, and David and myself, and we talk about what it's done to all the industries. But the little teaser I'm going to put out today shows you just the incompetence behind this law and what the Ninth District decided last week and why Uber and Postmates are now taking back up the issue of not only defending Prop 22, but they're suing California to end AB5. So this is getting very, I mean, like because of what the Ninth Circuit judges said, and you can learn all that in the interview tomorrow. Because of what they said last week in the ruling, they were very harsh on what has happened and what the millions of careers that have been destroyed in California. And I'm not talking about the gig economy with the Prop 22 carve out, although we do discuss that as well. And you guys will be surprised to hear what we learned from Karen. Karen is somebody I very much value her opinion, and to be honest, she is pro Prop 22, and for different reasons than I've ever heard, though. So it was very, very interesting. Watch that tomorrow. Watch the teaser I dropped tonight, because it'll definitely get your whistle wet to go, wait a minute, I do actually want to watch this, because it shows the little piece I'm going to put out. It's 3 minutes. It's going to show you guys how incompetent this law was written. Just in the 3 minutes, you'll want to watch this whole piece. But we also go over what Proposition 2022 means now, what it meant then, and what it means going forward, and kind of the fate of independent contractorship, which that was a win for independent contractors across the board. Whether you like Prop 22 or not, a loss there would have been a loss to unions and an employee model straight up. So it was kind of like three sides battling. So it was a hard determination to understand. But in 1 hour tomorrow, if you watch the para video, Karen brings it full scope and makes total sense of it. So watch for the teaser tonight. But yeah, like I said, all apps. I really am. Let me check on the chat. What's up, Bud Soda? What's up, Busy Lady? What's up, Sean in Tennessee? What's up, Thomas? And let's see. I'll send you the link. Okay. Yeah, let me just real quickly just say, though, every week, I might roll the time back 1 hour. Just want that to be known. But whatever it is next week, that'll be its time. But it might stay here too. But I might roll it back 1 hour. But regardless, this is not, it's not Sunday Fun Day like that used to be, but it is in the terms that anybody can join. So like I was saying, I would really like it if anybody working any of these last mile apps, because we can do comparisons, but this show is not going to be about food delivery. It is not going to be about grocery delivery, and it is not going to be about rideshare. We're not going to really get into any of those unless we're doing a comparison. This is strictly about last mile delivery space, because I think it's the strongest space in the gig economy. It's definitely hands down the best paying. That's without a doubt. And if you're looking to get into it, this is going to be something you're going to want to watch, because we're going to stay away from, again, other than comparisons, we're going to stay away from getting into trying to be like, well, at rideshare, no, that's not what we're doing here. We're just going to show. I'm hoping to bring on, like, I know Gig Geezer will be joining. I know Bud Soda's going to join today, but everybody can join. Like, even if, those of you, like, let me get through always anybody that wants to join as we get the show going. Who wants to join, who's doing the apps, but then we'll get to a point where even if you're interested in the apps, you want to come on and ask some questions, feel free. We're just going to open it up like we used to on Sunday Fun Day. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much going to be like, in terms of just bringing guests on organically, it's not going to be like the round table. It's not going to be like Driver Nation. That was part of the thing I wanted to do, was have it be different. So yeah, that said, and then Curri. So Curri's still my favorite, you guys, of the last mile apps. And I've got some new information on Curri. There are some things you guys should know if you are on Curri. Let me see. What can I just kind of just belt out real quick? They are doing a thing now where you have to give them 1 to 3 days to pay you, but for 1%, you can get it immediate. I know we've all done the immediate right away. Some people I've seen on some of the chats complaining about that, but here's the thing, guys. When Curri does things like that, that I know that they eventually have to move to a model that does that, where they can, yes, we're offering you this service, but we need to start cutting some lines. I'd rather that happen than them attack driver pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen the pay move. They just put out a thing saying starting April 1st, if you want instant payout, you can get it for 1%. Let's be honest, Curry is the best paying app out there. So if you made $100, 1%'s $1. I mean, if you need it right then, that's fair. There's really no other places that, except for some, free services that do shuttle around some money, but really that's about the cheapest you'll ever hear. 1% is pretty cheap to just move the funds. But also with me, I'm okay waiting. So I won't, I'm okay just getting my pay, 1 to 3 days later. I've already been told most of the time it's gonna be 24 hours. So I'm not concerned about it. But if I ever need it, it's there for 1%. So I just wanted to put it out there. I want everybody knowing that this is the way I will talk about Curry. I will tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. There's not a lot of ugly. There's not even a lot of bad. But when changes happen, we'll talk about it on here. And then I'm going to be having a lot of other Curry drivers on, a lot of Curry drivers who work in all kinds of markets with different size vehicles. And yeah, so, and not to mention who knows who might just drop in from Curry at any given time. So obviously, I do know a lot of people over there, and if any of them are in here, like Alice or Savak or Jesse, or if by chance Matt Lafferty were in here, I would always want you guys to join. So when I pin the link up there, you guys are always welcome, even if you're just in the background, but you feel like coming on and giving a couple words of wisdom. You guys always have an open seat, clearly, and so do the other companies. Though, if you're from Bungie, or you're from Mothership, or you're from Dispatch or Freight, and you're watching this, come on. So yeah. So let me put the link out. I'm just gonna put it up here I'm just gonna pin it to the thing, Bud Soda, because this is how I'm gonna start doing it every week. Like, I'm gonna do an intro, and I think every week I'll have an intro of like 1 or 2 features that I'm digging, or things that have changed that I feel like people should know about on any of the platforms. And also, you guys, you should know I am trying to get on all these platforms. So one of the things I'm trying to accomplish doing this show is being on every last mile. Like I was reading, like some of these, I just applied to Axle Hire, Runner. And I don't know if you guys remember a company we had on here on the round table called Metrobi, but they've actually started adding a couple cities. So I just signed up for Metrobi. But so yeah, so I signed up for and Bungie Driver. I thought I already had signed up for Bungie, but I just signed up for Bungie. So that'll take my, already that'll put me into double digit courier apps alone. And there's about, like I said, there's about 22 that I'm willing to use, and about, I don't know, probably, let's just say 5. About 5 of those, let's say, are websites that I'm also looking into. And only one of the ones out of those 22 that I'm looking at that's an actual app for medical couriers only. I like this medical courier. It's called or what I've read about it anyway, it's called VYO, not VHO, but VEYO, not HO, driver. And if you can see it, it's like a little squiggly line on the bottom there, that blue one. But that's its logo. If you download that is an app for medical services. I've heard the pay is pretty good, and they do something that one of my friends who does this kind of stuff told me, that they allow you to kind of put like what things you're willing to work. So I don't really know what those, I know like skin cells are transported. I know COVID tests are transported. So therefore, you could check skin cells, but you don't check COVID because you don't want to carry cases of COVID to a testing facility. COVID tests. Now I was on Holly's show yesterday, the show that her and I do about dumpling, and she said, "Oh, I'd do COVID tests all day." See, I wouldn't. I'm not a chance. I'm already a little like, I don't know about the medical stuff. If I can stay in the more construction, that kind of side of things, that's better for me. But um, they're like on this one. This is the only one, by the way, that I know of that you can do those kind of settings. Most of the other medical couriers are like they either just give you things and you are willing to do them, or they post a bunch of things and it's more of a website based, and you have to go say, "Yeah, I'll do that." So you're really independent contractorship looking at these offers on a website saying, "I guess I'd do that." And they're straight up on what it is, how far it is, what they're paying. So I will be listing those over the weeks, maybe even do one of these on specifically that. Um, but yeah, basically I'm going to keep getting on these. There's another one called I'm not even on point pickup yet. And I know I probably don't need to be, but again, it's been on my list for a while, so I'm actually taking this time to get on all of them. So I want to have a view on all of them. So but and I've heard point pickup, most people are like, "Oh, it's dead in all markets." But every once in a while, like, Kim, I know Kim has the amazing market, but Kim will tell me, "Oh, I did a point pickup today. It was great. Paid me great." So it's one of those things. I don't think you can claim it to be dead everywhere. Um VO. I know. It threw me off too, bro. Let me put the link in here though. Okay. And okay, that's the link pinned up there, you guys. If you want to join, obviously, please do so. I know Bud Soda, I think, is going to join. I know that Gig Geezer's looking at joining. Hopefully, a handful of these. I specifically asked him because he does he's really starting to move with his commercial van business, and so I think I have things to offer him, tips, and I know he has a lot of information that he could bring to this show talking about that. So you guys can expect to see him. I'm hoping, a handful of times. So, but here and now we have the one and only Mr. Bledsoe. What's up? What's up, Light? What's up? And what's up, Chris? I saw you put your thing up there. What's up?
I can't talk my mic on this phone.
You can't what?
So you're gonna have to do it. Can you
You
hear
can't
me?
do what? Yeah.
I can't hook the mic up on this
Oh, you're
phone. It
good.
won't hook in all the way.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know I don't root Brody that much, but holy crud, one week did it just do monstrous things for me. I mean, like I delivered 2 things of full horse probiotics for $34. I guess the lady said she paid extra to get it there faster. So like I guess they will offer out more if people pay a premium because it just came out and I put in the offer right away for it. It was $33.80 for 16 miles, and I took it right away. Of course, you know me, I ain't going empty-handed. I stacked it.
Wait. It was $33.
Yeah,
For
2 little
60
things.
miles?
16.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 60. I was like,
over to a mile.
Okay.
So like the lady said, she's like, "Oh, I'll pay the extra to get it faster." And it's some more well-off people, and they have horses, and they breed some, I guess, some here and there, more as a hobby. But I got mucho dinero, and the I got another one that same week. It was 2 different offers. They were about 40 each, and it was going to the same area, Clayton, which is up by the river here, and it was 2 for $80. Like, it was just 2 different things of dog food. And
Right.
thank goodness I did take those papers, because the GPS was way off up there. It was on like the Bumfrick side of Clayton. I've never been, and I haven't been to Clayton since I was a little kid. So, I wasn't very familiar with the area. And they gave me bad instructions to the store. They said, "Oh, turn at the solar panel farm, and keep going down past it." It went to a freaking logging trail, basically.
I think you caught some
And
you caught some
they
digi
were
bud stat. You caught bud static. He's got bud static. You got bud static going, dude. It's every other word. Yeah, you're hold on, I'm putting something in chat for you.
Tell me that. That would have been much more simple. So I almost got stuck doing that. And
look at the private
Uh-oh.
look at the
Can you
private
hear me?
chat. Look at the private
You're like
chat.
a statue.
Yeah. I think that'll make a better signal. You were getting pretty digi there. Bud static. Oh, now he's muted too, though. Okay. I don't know what he's doing now. Yeah, I was saying kill the video, Bud Soda, so that maybe the audio would come through better. I don't know. I find it with StreamYard when it's glitchy in a weird area. If you just kill the video, you have enough power to run the audio usually. But you can also try exiting and coming back too. But yeah, guys. Let's so I was trying to let me think of some of the other things I was wanting to tell you about with Curri. If you don't know that Curri's doing the multiple stops now too. So Curri does these they come again. For those that aren't on Curri, everything's transparent. You're seeing everything. You see a pin drop to the radius of where you're picking up, where you're dropping off. It says how far you are to the pickup. It says how far the distance from pickup to drop off is, and it tells you the exact details of what you're carrying and the total weight. And you start to know where things are. I've been doing it for 2 years, so I know where most things are. If something weird comes up in a pin drop area, and I'm like, oh, that's Ferguson Plumbing or that's Sherman Williams. And if it's not, it's usually a new client to the Curri team too. So because I really have gotten to know most of these places, so I can tell what's what. But and for those of you who are on the Curri app, I mean, when you get on the Curri app, I would like some people to come over here to, when you're new to it, let me teach you some things. I've never been a big tips and tricks guys, but I do believe that I can help you big time not take the wrong offers. I can't say I can make sure you're taking the right ones, but I can make sure you're not taking the wrong ones because I've learned on all the different things, because the way that the algorithm works, there's a lot different because they have a different algorithm for the plumbing supplies than they do for Sherman-Williams. So, Sherman-Williams, they have an actual integrated system where Sherman-Williams hex codes go right into Curri and determine the weight and everything. And it used to be like just kind of sloppy notes. I shouldn't say sloppy, but better than other customers. But yeah, kind of sloppy, just whatever the team at whatever local Sherman-Williams put in. Now they can just do it through their system. It integrates right to Curri. So there's a different pay model going on there. I've always said that, I can't speak for having a Sprinter or a van or larger, I mean, I can from the people I've talked to. I've talked to quite a lot who use all kinds of different um, size vehicles and make tons of money. But when you're in a, let's say, SUV pickup truck or lower, I'm in an SUV. I get a ton of orders in Denver, but pickups get a lot too. Like I know one thing that, like, if you have a pickup truck, I know one thing that you can do, and then you put it as an add-on in Curri. This is an example of an add-on that, like, you really shouldn't forget to do if you even have it. If you tell Curri you have an F-150 or whatever you might have, but you also have a pipe bar attached to the back, put pipe bar, because when you add that accessory, they have a hashtagging system that tells the customer needs pipes moved. So they still might look for an F-150, but they might be moving up a size to the larger truck. But if they see that, but if that hashtag hits with what you have on your profile saying your F-150 has a pipe rack, then they know, oh, okay, we can get that on that, and they will fit it on your F-150, and you'll get a much better pay that would have been kicked up even to the next level size truck, because if there's a certain amount of pipes, they can just put them in the back of a pickup. But if there's too many and you have a pipe rack, they can still get it in your pickup. But if they don't know you have the pipe rack, they're probably gonna look for other, like the next size up. And here's the thing: Curri does not send you orders that don't fit. They're not like Roadie and some of these others. And I know Roadie's gotten a little better, but I mean, like, I know people all over the country who have got to places with Roadie and had issues about things don't fit. What the heck? Jason P is my friend who has a YouTube channel. It's Drive to Win 13 on YouTube. He's been around for a while. Great guy. Lives up in Idaho and sometimes is in Tucson and sometimes Florida. I believe right now he's in Florida, but he bases out of Idaho. But yeah, he got to a roadie at Walmart to pick up a basketball hoop, but he didn't know what it was. He drives a Prius, and he pulled up, and the guy came outside and said, well, he's like, I can't fit this on my Prius. And the guy from Walmart said, this is really starting to aggravate me. He said, you're the third driver that's got out here where we can't fit it on their vehicle. That never happens on Curri. And any mistakes on Curri, you'll get paid for it. Like if you're just even 2 miles driving to 10 miles away to do your pickup and they cancel on you, that's $20. So but yeah, so there are things that you can do, like I don't know if you probably a lot of Xander. Just Xander, y'all, is his handle. He's been around YouTube for a while. He doesn't post a lot of content. I had him on a video on here. He's always in chats and stuff. He's a great guy. He got on Curri in LA, and he added some of the stuff too that also can help. Like if you add that you can add things like, yes, you have a foldable roller dolly, and it can carry 100 pounds, or whatever it can do. And then if you have, even though we're kind of out of this, it still has a thing about, like, do you have PP&E? And for that, you can just literally take some and just shove it into a bag and put it in your trunk or in the back of your SUV with your spare tire. And just having that, though, might get you a job, because maybe the place is still now, I don't know where it would be doing this, but maybe the place is still asking employees to wear masks or whatever. So they only want a driver that would have a mask. Again, I'm not out here playing DoorDash or trying to screw around with these apps and, how can I raise this and what's the best time to work this? I have done all that, but this show is about last mile space. And I'm out here to earn money, you guys. That's it. I want to show you guys how to make money. I want to make money. This is not the Let's Solve Problems show. This is the Let's Talk About All These Apps show, and learn which ones of the last miles are the best in your area, because every area has a last mile app service. I mean, I shouldn't say, I mean, if you're rural, that's a little different, but you're still probably close to something. But you have at least one, if not up to like 24, 25 available to you. It's going to take a while to figure out which ones are the best in your area. So that's why, like I said in the beginning, I'm getting onto all these, you know. So I just applied to 3 today, and I couldn't believe that I wasn't on point pickup. I really thought I was. But I guess, I mean, I never opened it or anything, but I just thought I had it and I stopped using it, but I had never even been on it. So today I put in for a couple more. And so now I've got roadie. I don't really do much roadie. I've got VHO. I've got freight. I've got dispatch. Um, I've got Curri, of course. And again, like I said in the beginning, about 90% or about 90% or of my gig work on platform work is last miles. Probably 90% plus. Out of that 90%, about 80% of the last mile stuff I'm doing, 80% plus actually, is Curri. So for me, I've found what works best in my area. It's Curri. But the other ones are starting to step up too. And I feel like every other space is taking a beating. We're coming into spring and it's still taking a beating. Like the business is there, but they're just still taking a beating. I'm hearing it from a lot of people. Hey, Bud Soda, if that's you backstage, it says Rideshare Rodeo. So I don't know what you did. I am going to. Okay, there. Yeah. Again, everybody's welcome. So, and what's up, Aaron? How are you? Is this the real Steve? Yes. I still can't get my arm up past like this, you guys. Oh, it pops right there too. Doesn't even hurt. It just feels so weird. It pops backwards and sideways. From avalanche training, I did so much digging, and this is my shoulder that I had to have surgery on twice. About what was it, 2012? I took a bad fall on my snowboard and just ripped my arm out of place. Had it reset, and do we see you on TikTok? I don't know. I mean, if you saw me on TikTok, you probably did. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm on TikTok, sure. Um, but yeah, so this has been killing me. I even did a Curri the other day, and there we go. Let's see if he's back. Fingers crossed, guys, that we got Bud Soda, not Dot Matrix Soda. Oh shit, he froze. All right, talk, man. Let's see if it's right.
Dot Matrix.
I don't know.
I know a Matrix.
See you freezing.
Speed up data still.
Yeah, but see, when you go to right there, when you just kill the video but not the audio, you're good.
Yeah, well, a lot of soldiers are around. This is my Verizon phone that I don't use during the day because I get data throttled like crazy. So that's why I have 2 different phones. So, but I want to say something about these kind of apps. Like UDM had a great video. It's in one of my playlists. I put it in the chat there. Is use Roadie to stack or use Roadie to stack on other last mile deliveries like a dispatch or a Curri, because all of a sudden you got a dispatch, let's say, going from Florida to Georgia, 300 miles for $300, and then there's that roadie sitting there. It looks sad for $125 for about the same 300 miles to drop off in the little same area. All of a sudden, that 125 looks enticing. Stuff like that. I know that's not the $2 per mile marker, but who doesn't want to make $425 one day? You just went to Vegas for how much?
Exactly. I went to 1,600.
Crazy money.
Yeah.
I know Lisa got on it. I wish she'd hop up on here, but she had one going to PA. It was like $600, and they as
And
soon as she left.
let me make something clear on the Vegas thing too, because something, some of it was on here. Here's where a couple of people got
Yep.
confused. I was waiting to come back and get a load coming back, but that wasn't why I stayed. And I think I need to make this clear. I stayed because I work in production, or did very heavily for 20 years pre-pandemic, and I've only been doing from home type stuff. So I wanted to reconnect with the pyrotechnics company, with some friends, with some staging companies. I wanted to go into a couple of our laser accounts. I rode an autonomous vehicle while I was there, trashier than I thought. I was more networking, but like,
yeah, you literally gave me what I was gonna say. Why not network while you're out?
right. But my point is, if I had just taken the Curri, got a hotel for $90, like 20 miles outside of 20 miles going back towards home out of Vegas, you get like a decent roadside hotel, $90, $100, and then wake up the next day and just drive. I mean, I did need sleep. I do think I would not recommend doing that both ways. It took me about 10 hours, even though that seems like, dude, I drive 15 hours around here. Yeah, but you shouldn't be, but when you are, I'm too far from home to be pulling that crap.
So we both drove to Thick Boats, and I'm going to tell you how exhausting it is to drive one way constantly and maybe make 2 or 3 stops at most, and then you're just stretching your legs barely, maybe grabbing a snack, going to the restroom, and pumping gas. That's it. So like 20-minute stop max. And I did that 16 and a half hours. And that's freaking exhausting because you knew what, like a brick, it hit me. You saw the way it looked. And I got back from that, and it was like twice as bad. So don't take those long drives lightly, guys. And that's why you want, to take that, 600 miles. You could probably do that in a day. But like, he was how many hours out of Vegas, you said? You got to look at the hours too, the time.
How many hours to Vegas?
Yeah, from Denver.
Oh, so my house to Vegas, it's literally, dude, both ways. It literally was like right in I mean, we're talking right within 20 minutes of 10 hours both ways. It was
one way
like one way. But I'm saying it was 10 hours coming back. Like one was, let's say it was 10 hours, 10 minutes. The next coming back was like 10 hours, 17 minutes. It was so close both ways. It was crazy.
That was my point, is that
even if I wasn't networking, I don't care how I felt. Like, oh, I made all this money, I'm not going to get a hotel, I'm going back. That would be the dumbest move you could make. I don't, if you're working that kind of, like, I'm actually really glad to hear Bud Soda of all people saying this, because I've always said he works too much and that it affects his work. I think honestly that it affects the work performance and your stress levels when you work too many hours in a row. It's just better to start to try and pick out, even if it's 10, that's fine, but pick out the right 10 and then make sure you're getting sleep. Because look, I can say for sure, all of us, and I'm pretty healthy, stay pretty healthy with my son. I mean, I just did avalanche training. I'm search and rescue certified. However, all of us could be better in our days about doing some kind of exercise, stretching. I can tell you right now, I feel like an idiot for doing avalanche training without stretching. I really ripped my shoulder apart again. And I probably with stretching would have helped at least make it not so bad. Again, I have had surgery on it twice. So that was 10 plus years ago. So it usually doesn't act up. And this acted up pretty hard because this was a lot of work. But I think everybody needs to get out, stretch. I mean, look at, like you said, about a 20-minute stop when you're doing these long rides. I believe even people out working the day-to-day in the cities need to get out, not just to run into a restaurant and back, but, just take some deep breaths when they're waiting for a ride and really stretch, like really focus on stretching. Eating better. I know that's very hard for all of us to do, but eating better, however you can do it, that's very key. And I will say one thing that my son said it to me recently, and I was shocked because normally he doesn't have to tell me this, But he's like, you're not drinking enough water. I used to be all over him for that because we live at a high elevation. You have to drink a ton of water here. But he was like, you're not drinking enough water. And he was actually right. So, that goes for everybody, though. Like, none of us drink enough water. Let's be honest. You really can't. Here in Colorado, you should, technically you should be drinking, a half gallon plus a day. So I don't know. I honestly don't feel like enough of us have water. We all have our our caffeinated or, some of us even energy drinks that we maybe use. For me, it's like having some coffee, but then I have other things that I have instead of water when I should be doing water. Like I'll have like a green tea or something, but if you look, it's still got too many sugars in it and crap. And just the work we're doing can be stressful. Being on the road a lot, you never know what can happen. We all know this. They said, wait, what is this now? They said what you weigh. So if you're 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. Aaron, you're up in Alaska too. I don't know what your elevation is. So I'm in the Mile High City. So we know what elevation I'm at. Well, many of you might not. If any of you know without using Google, if any of you know what the how many feet are in a mile, you can put it in the chat. I'll be impressed. If you use Google, that's lame, but I'll count backwards from 3 in case anybody does it, and then it'd still come in. But 3, 2, 1. It's 5,280. 5,280 feet is a mile, and that's why we have a magazine out here called 5280. And there's a lot of things that are kind of branded as that. Light just put 1365. I don't even know what that is.
I tell you what order I'm doing.
Hey, Marissa, how are you? Yeah, so I don't know, Aaron, about where you're at in Alaska, but for me, I'm just basing it on me. Like when I have people come to town and we go into the mountains, so at 5280, if I'm taking you up even higher into the mountains, like my cousin when he comes, or other people that come out to go snowboarding or hiking or whatever we might be doing, we're going anywhere from we hike 14ers, but we're camping or going to cities anywhere from like 8,000 to kind of like 11,500. So, or 11. So like if you're coming from my cousins in Michigan, if you're coming from Michigan to Colorado and we're driving right up to the mountains to Summit County at 9,000 feet, I'm telling him to drink a gallon of water the first 2 days here, a gallon each day. Otherwise, it doesn't happen to everybody, but I'm telling you, if you don't drink enough water, you get a borderline migraine. I don't know how to explain it. It's this wicked, just piercing. It feels like razor blades slicing, like a migraine, but you can't get rid of it. It's like a dehydration grain or something. But it's happened to way too many people I know who are in good shape come out here to ride. And they get out here and they're just like, I'm dying. And it's because, we go up to Summit County, we go out to the Dam Brewery, we have a steak because we're riding the next day and some beers.
Is that me or Steve?
Talking? It's me.
Oh, Steve Roosevelt.
But yeah, so that's a big difference too. Yes. If I moved anywhere now that was sea level, I'm not gonna, but if I was to, I would still keep up my water habits because I don't think you can overhydrate. I know there are some articles saying, here's the amount you should consume, or the ways like you're saying it would do it with body weight. I wouldn't go drink 8 gallons a day, but I don't think you can overhydrate. That's just, it's all good on your body.
Yeah. Like I'm telling you, because I worked up by Jay and Whiteface and the Adirondacks, and the Adirondacks are nothing compared to the Rockies. But
Yeah.
like even that, a lot of people know about Whiteface. Whiteface is nothing to like sneeze at. And I was like up and down those cliff sides, literally.
He bot sodaed out.
Sorry, bot soda again.
No, it showed a mute. Yeah, bot sodaed you.
I muted myself because she was yelling. I'm doing your least favorite app right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I am actually gonna be doing something with that, but I'm not gonna talk about it yet because I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do.
So something I wanted to say is like you can stack Roadie with the stuff. You can stack Roadie with other career apps, and I think that's something really important you need to get across with these career apps is learn how to do that. I just kind of experimented the other day. What you have to do is wait on at least Roadie. You have to wait for both bids to be accepted before you hit start trip. If you don't, you have to like try to get a hold of support, and I heard their support's like worse than any of the others.
Well, and yeah, to add to that too, I can tell you that Freight and Curri both have so they have scheduled runs in the morning that usually populate between, at least for me and Mountain Time, populate between like 6 or like 4 and 7. Seems like lately, I used to say later, but like 4 and 7, about 90% of the scheduled pickups will populate. There's a ton. And I can pick from those. They say the time, all that, so you know what you're doing. I can even stack from the same Sherman-Williams paint and take multiple orders as long as I don't go over what I feel comfortable taking in my SUV, which I think the weight load for the SUV is pretty close to 1,000 or 900. But I won't do over 7. I just don't feel comfortable doing over 7. But that's usually 2 good orders. 700 pounds is, weighs the car down a decent amount. But there's also then throughout the day, there's hot shots, which come through. And those are the ones that the customer is paying high price because they need it right now. So they need you to have it there 10 minutes ago. So you need to run, get it, take it to them. But then they have also pick up after, deliver before. Those are great because it'll say pick up after 8 a.m., deliver before 2:30. So therefore, you can go grab that, keep it in your car, see what else you get, and see if you get something else going up that way. And even, I believe, I've never got a direct answer from the Curri team on this. Sometimes they say things to me like, hey, we can't go giving away the ingredients. And that usually means I've asked too deep into the algo. But I've said, do you take into account that if I pick that up, that are you thinking I'm delivering it right away, or do you take into account if I don't, because they're tracking, right? So if I don't start heading that way and it says, and I picked it up at 9:30 a.m., says delivered by 2:30, and I'm not heading up there, do you take into account, or does the algo, hey, he'll take another one up there too? Because if it does, I don't want to drive to Henderson twice in a day. So I might wait like a good 2 hours to see if that comes through, because these can be longer drives where it's already worth it at one order. But if you can wait for a second, I guess with last mile, one thing I would say though is, like what Bud Soda said, yeah, you can stack them and stuff like that. Just make sure you're really keeping a good conscious record of some kind of your day and planning it where you need to be when, because a lot of times these aren't DoorDash orders going 3 miles and you're going one way. That's a lot of miles and you're getting paid good, but make sure that you can make your other deliveries to the other side of town then. That's something at least I have to pay attention to with Curri.
So I know on Curri it's different from like Roadie. Like your times are a lot more hard on some of those. Like there's different levels, isn't there? Could you explain that a little bit better?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like the hot shots will always pay better, but the hot shot means you should be here 5 minutes ago and it needs to be delivered 15 minutes ago. Like those are the ones you need to, whatever you're doing, you need to leave right then. If they don't start seeing your car move like within a minute or two towards a hot shot, they'll unassign you. You don't get penalized for it, but they'll just say, we didn't see your car moving. We're assigning it to somebody else. They don't, because they're getting paid a lot of, like, let's say a construction. I can tell you this. This is why sometimes the algo makes no sense. Even when I say Sherwin-Williams paint is gold, right? That's the gold of Curri. It's usually the highest paying. Well, not necessarily, because every once in a while I might get, like, I had a case of nails, or not even, it was like a half a case of nails. It was like 8 boxes or 10 boxes of nails, framing nails. And it paid to go like 11 miles. This was a few months ago. It paid like $70. And it came in at like 1:30. It needed to be there, hot shot right away. I was close, grabbed it, took it there. It took me about 25 minutes to get it to the delivery location from the time I got the order. They were stoked. When I got there, it was literally a crew that, as soon as they were done using these nails, got to go home for the weekend. So to them, that was like, we'll pay a lot because we're just sitting here and we need this right now. So the hotshot runs pay the best. You just got to be ready to move, because if you don't move, they don't have a, again, they don't come down on you for this. They don't penalize you or anything, but they don't really have a threshold on hotshot runs. There's no threshold for, don't worry, I'm going to take care of it. It's like, no. We need you to go do this right now. And don't be stacking things and don't be screwing around. Just go do this. But you'll notice that on those, of course, you're not going to, because you get paid ridiculous amounts, sometimes for very little work. So hotshots can pay amazing. I actually happen to like the new pick up after, deliver befores, because, like, let's say I know that with a pickup at where it's showing me the 2 pins, and I know, okay, this is Ferguson Plumbing, and I know that this is this area up in Henderson where it's going to be one of 3 buildings I drop off at, and I know that takes 30 minutes. I now know that I have until 1:45 to pick up that order, because that would still put me there at 2:15. I never push it to the end, and I don't even push it like that. But it allows me to wait to see if I wait and get another, like if another Ferguson Plumbing order comes through, I'll pick up the one that says pick up after 9:30. And then if at 11 a.m. One comes through for Ferguson and says, come pick this up and take it south, even though the other one's going north, I'll go to Ferguson, pick up 2 orders. And yeah, the one of them might be a hot shot, but the other one that was earlier that says pick up after, deliver before, that one I can do I can deliver after, but I can grab them both. So again, it's a different style of stacking, but I like those because they're still really good paying, but it allows you to stack and kind of wait, or grab it and wait to go out there if you got another gig going the other way first. So it's cool because it allows Curri to allow their customers different levels too. It's like, do you need this by 2:30 or do you need this in 20 minutes?
Yeah. So basically, do you need it the same day or do you need it within the hour? That's what hotshot runs are, 90 minutes or less. So, like, I don't have personal experience with that outside of like ordering parts for a W2, and even they don't keep under the 90 minutes, and that place is a hot mess express. But I really think that a lot of people just overlook these and just think, and I'm like, why do a $6 to $10 food order when you can make it 20 or more? Not to throw the food order to the side. If you get a $10 going 10 miles, it drops off just before your non-hot shot run. Okay, take it, fine. But like, that's what I did with Spark. That's debatable whether you could, because .com orders, whether that can be considered that, because you throw Amazon in there. But like, I did a lot of that crap with the .com orders, and it made me some serious cash. Like one night, one was like 16 stops, $78. A lot of long in betweens, but where the long in betweens were like major stopping points where there's like a bunch of restaurants nearby. I got really big $10 to $15 orders every time I stopped. So like, I know we weren't going to talk food delivery, but you could do that. So list.
Right. The
That
one
just
difference I would
means
say,
you also
listen,
know your
guys, if you
area
get
well.
if you get on Curry though, I would not stack. I would not screw around. I don't even stack really. Once I'm
Yeah,
on a
not with,
Curry, I
I'm
still
not
keep
talking.
my Curry open to other Curry orders, but I don't stack anything with Curry because Curry's way too good to me to screw around with a $2.50, $3, $4 DoorDash order, even if it's going to happen easy. I'm not going to do it because if I'm on Curry, I'm being professional. Um, and even the other last mile apps, I'm only going to combine them with other last miles. I think those like, you know, if you're going to pull DoorDash in, you're going to be in a hot mess. The way I'm talking about it now, if like you, Bud, so you're just running Roadie, and then all the other apps, Instacart, DoorDash, all the other ones that you run, that makes sense because you're waiting for that one Roadie. But me, if I'm going to run like 6-7 last mile apps, which is where I'm trying to get to, then you know, I'm only going to be working last mile, even if it means there's a little bit of downtime, you know, or I'm waiting. They pay so well that I'd rather wait and select all that and make days out of that than be trying to squeeze in extremely minimal pay jobs to help with the downtime. And I am always somebody saying, "Hey, keep the wheels rolling." So if I'm going to be doing a little test here with DoorDash and Instacart. That's what I was going to tell Soda, but I didn't really want to talk about it too much here. I'll talk about it more on Thursday on the round table. But I'm going to be doing a little thing one day a week where I kind of am not going to work last mile, but I'm just going to be working those two, just trying to do some testing in my market, kind of show the comparison to last mile. But the other days of the week, I'm onboarding to all of the last mile apps, and I'm still going to keep all of or most. If all of my work can be through Curry, great. But I want to be seeing all the other apps, and I want to be able to talk to you guys about it. I did just bring in. I'm waiting for Bud Soda to come back because I just got an order for Steamboat. I don't think it was very good. It got grabbed right away, and this kind of goes to show me that when a noob grabs a new one, because there's a major snowstorm coming in, and somebody grabbed this order. I'll just put it up. I'm not waiting for him. Let's see. Okay. So this just came in like while we were doing this show. That's what I was looking at. And I saw it. I didn't take it. Came through to me. I said, but somebody took it. I saw it. Somebody took it at this price. I would have waited for this to go up. 159 miles, $178. But what this person didn't realize is that between Denver and Steamboat tomorrow, there's going to be a major snowstorm. And Rabbit Ears Pass is extremely dangerous. So I hope he really understood what he was doing, or he watches the weather. I see Sean in here who I haven't seen. What's up, Sean? I haven't seen you in forever, man.
Yeah, a lot of
Actually,
people
I think
order and they don't like even think about those kind of things.
But see, that's when you come into this. Like Sean's a truck driver, and he does cross country and stuff. But so he would never be doing loads without looking at weather. I mean, the truckers do it, so like we're not used to traditional gig or original gig working app platforms, delivery, rideshare. We're not really used to caring about weather. If anything, we know it means a surge. But with courier services, you want to look at what you're doing long haul. You want to, if you
But
know about the weather, you want to pay attention. Especially, I
if
mean, I
it
guess there might be some places where it doesn't matter as much, or you would just know, like Florida. Yeah, I might get some rain, but I'm gonna take it anyway, and it's 6 hours. Here in Colorado, you got to know because you don't know what you're getting into.
yeah, that's the thing is like with the snow here, and I take that into consideration with what I'm doing. And sometimes, a lot DoorDash went down 3 different times this winter, and twice it wasn't even bad. Only the third time wasn't really severe to where it needed to shut down for all the time it was, for 3 days straight. And there's maybe the other time it needed only shut down one day, but it was shut down for 4. So like I kind of work around that, and most of my customers are very thankful. But I did get, a few outliers here and there. I was looking at my ratings this morning and saying, exempted because extreme weather, exempted because extreme weather, exempted because extreme weather, 2 to 4 stars or whatever, because people were upset they didn't, they were probably holdovers. There's one person that was a holdover from the day before. They didn't tip bait me, but they were very upset that they didn't get their food the day before. It's like, you seriously ordered in the middle of a storm. What did you expect?
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I did right
yeah.
up. I did right up one night until the stores basically closed. Like, I got out of there at 10:55. They closed at 11. It's like, I can't do no more. I'm done.
Right.
So, like, these apps with that is like, if you're going any kind of long distance, you have to go through mountains and mountains pass. Like, I know there was quite a few Home Depots. Let's say they would fit in my car. They weren't like 80 inches or 70 inches, something way too long to fit in here. And I would look at that and be like, okay, where's it going? And I saw one I could have took. It was like 60 something inches. Like, worst case, I got to get the ratchet strap out. But like,
Right.
I knew weather in Adirondacks was going to be crappy. And I know how that road is because I've been through there in the winter, and it sucks hard even when it's decent weather. Like, it's always forming ice over the road. And it's like, is it really worth taking that for 50 something bucks? No, it's not. I'm like, if it's triple digits, I'll take my time. If it takes me 6 hours, I don't care. I still made $100, and I'll probably take something with it. But like, you got to think about those kind of things. And if it's just way too dangerous, like it's actually storming out, heck no, I ain't doing that. I've had to pass those roads in stormy weather when I worked line clearance, but I knew I was getting paid time and a half or double time plus pennies. But with these apps, you're just getting paid what you see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so what I would like to do next week is I'm going to start off next week with just some straight up Curri, like in terms of if I'm even afraid to say this put this out there, but if you've been on the waiting list, come into the chat. Let's go through how Curri works, because April is right around the corner. Spring is going to be a crazy onboarding for sure. I know for a fact, I can't speak like this on the other platforms, but hey, what's up, Mr. Flex? How are you?
So basically, something you can tell them what I do is I can get onto a military base, and that's huge.
Well, I just mean that, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, hopefully, hopefully that's, I think a lot of people are going to get off, but I'm going to, I'll do my best to like try and put in the word, obviously, for who I've talked to so far, which is most people. I've helped get a few people off, but if we can get the rest of them off, I just don't want more new people asking me, because I'm going to be really focused on all these apps, and I will help you guys through everything with Curri. But I just know that they are bringing on new accounts and other things, and everybody there is so busy all the time. I don't want to be nagging them too much. But I do know also that from time to time they're going to be in here, and we know that, if you're in the chat and you put, I'm still on the waiting list and I'm in blank, but you're not like being a jerk, like, get me off the waiting list, but you just put what market you're in, and you're still in the waiting list. They are watching, even if they're not watching live, they're watching after the fact, and they might come back and, say to you that, hey, okay, yeah, we will hit you up. That's the way I've put it to them, is can you just kind of sometimes check the chat or the comments after the show too, see what people put. And actually, like, I was doing some shorts, and like one of the shorts I did on Curri, a lot of people, I said, put where you're from if you're on the waiting list. And that was a helpful tool for Curri team, because they were actually able to see all these people who are good gig workers, who cared enough to put their market and that they're on the waiting list, and to be able to go, okay, well, now we know. So that's the kind of helpful stuff to them.
I'm not afraid of miles, so that's something I just, kind of want to put out there. If they send me to PA for good money, I'll go to PA. If they send me to Vermont, I'll go to Vermont.
Yeah. I mean, like, I juggle mine. Like, so, sometimes mine doesn't have total rhyme and reason, because I don't have a blanket statement of, I only do Curri for $1 a mile plus round trip. I mean, that is what I would like, and that is kind of like that's my that is what I would like to make. If I'm going to drive even 700 miles to Vegas, I want that to be at least $1,400 because that's $1 a mile each way, even for the deadhead way back. And then if I get something even better coming back, but if it were going to like Frisco, which is 70 miles away, and it paid $75, I would throw my snowboard in my vehicle, and I would go take that order up there, and I'd ride for a couple hours and then come home. So I don't need to have it be $1 a mile both ways for that scenario. I take advantage of other ways with Curri too, of like, oh, this gets me here or this gets me there.
I mean,
So I have to look at each one individually. In the city, I like between clearly nothing less ever than 2 per mile. But I'm looking for from pickup to drop off. I'm looking really between like 4 to 7. Might have to be dropping that now to like 3 to 7 per mile. But like, I posted or I had one today that was $31 for 3 miles for 180 pounds of paint. That's $10 a mile. That's just a little over 10 a mile. So yeah, it better be some really special paint, man. I'd be wondering what I'm taking in that paint bucket if they had me going for 1 gallon all the way to Key West. That sounds like I'd be meeting some guy in a cigarette boat or something.
So this was a lot of fun. It's been a little over an hour, Steve. I say
yeah,
we can wrap.
I'm calling it anyway. Yeah.
But
no, I was hoping they weren't because I wanted to keep this to an hour. Yeah, no, this is, people will start to join in, people who do these. And that's, I kind of wanted to get through the first one without a lot of people jumping in because in the beginning I'm trying to figure out the format. I think it's going to start off with me just kind of giving some whatever I learned new on a couple things and then jumping right into some topics that I'll have. And then if other people bring in other topics, I'll pause mine. So I'm going to be willing to discuss enough things, but I'm always going to have like 45 minutes to an hour worth of content, even if it were just me. But I'm hoping other people jump in with their own content or questions. And then if anybody wants to join, like Sean, this is going to be a weekly show. I'm probably going to roll it back to 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It'll run for an hour. And I am trying to keep the shows at their run times. Like Thursday Roundtable is supposed to be an hour 15. We've actually been hitting pretty close to that lately. Driver Nation's 2 hours. I want this one to be an hour. So this is going to be an hour show. So about around 50 minutes, I'll start wrapping it up and getting questions. But yeah, thanks, Bud Soda. And we'll see you guys back here. I'm going to get a little intro for this, but I don't know. But we'll see you back here. If we don't see you, oh, yeah. And thank you, Marissa. Please hit that like button if you could. I'm losing my voice a little.
Thank you for letting me join, Steve. Thank you.
Of course. Anytime.
Sorry you had to deal with hot soda.
No, it's all good, man. And yeah, check back next week, you guys. I'll put something out, but it's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to roll it back 1 hour. So I think that'll work a little better for everybody. And then if you're watching on the replay, please leave any comments, any questions at all about last mile service apps, and let me tackle them. And I got other people using last mile all over the place, so we're going to be having on here. So just stay tuned. You'll be learning about tons of markets, and get signed up. If you're not on Curri now, get signed up now. I mean, because you will be waitlisted almost for sure, unless you're driving a cargo van or something. But
don't let waitlist dissuade you, because one of the apps I make a good chunk of money off of. Yes, it's not last mile, but Grubhub took me 7 months, and I make a good amount of money on it. So just don't let a waiting list dissuade you. Just onboard all of them, guys, that you have available to you. Like, I don't have freight, I don't have dispatch. If those things are available to you in your area, you better be signing up. And if you haven't signed up for Curri, I don't know how many times Steve's drove that into the ground.
Yeah. And in the beginning, like, in the very beginning, people were still like, I don't know about this thing. And like, if you signed up then, you were working on the app the next day. So when I first started doing these, If you signed up then, I don't care where you were driving for Curri the next day. And that lasted a good 3-4 months. Then it started going to some weight loss and stuff. So it's like everybody needed me to really go through it for a while to believe in this app. But I wish more people had signed up in the very beginning. But I get it. I get it. It takes a while to get out of your comfort zone too. I'm trying to make my new comfort zone all of these apps, like I mentioned. And next week I'm going to have I'll put I'll do a quick little breakdown on each app that I already know that I'm on, hopefully these new ones too. And then I'll tell you about the other ones that I'm not on yet, at least by name, that you guys can go check out, because you should go, like Bud Soda said, you should go check out if it's in your market. I might not even like have something available to me that I'm looking at, because some of these don't just work on like, well, you're in a big market. Some of them don't work like that. They might have a client where Bud Soda is, but they don't have one in Denver. You know, like the size of Denver compared to Waterton is it's ridiculous. His town is so much smaller, but he could have one of these apps that works in his area because they have a client, but they don't have one in Denver. I mean, that's how these apps work. That is one different thing about the last mile apps. They really don't attack every market. They attack the markets where they get clients. So you just got to get on all of them. You just got to keep signing up, and then we got to all chat about them on here. If people are getting on like these other ones, I'd like to get somebody on here that's doing well with point pickup, because that one's been around for a while. I don't know many people who do well with it anymore. I've never ever talked to a bungee driver. I just signed up today, but we'll see. But I would love to talk to a bungee driver. But yeah, there's so many of them, you guys. There's more of these than there are food delivery apps.
Like, a lot of people just think Home Depot when it comes to roadie, and I'm telling you, there is so much more than just Home Depot. Like, especially if you live in a rural area like mine, the tractor supplies are slept on. It'll be like a feed bag, a dog food bag, something simple, guys. I mean, if you're willing to lift a case of water, you're willing to lift a case, a bag of dog food. So I got
also realize too that that like Curri, Freight, some of these others, they're B2B. So you're never going to Home Depot.
Yeah.
That's not even a place that you would ever go with these apps.
Yeah. I know, like, I'm just
you're going from a plumbing supply to a pre-build neighborhood or something like that, where you're going from the actual supplier to where they're building.
Yeah, under
So
development.
you're dealing on a B2B level. You are not taking anything to customers. I mean, if you are, it's so rare. I have taken a couple things, because anybody can use the Curri app. I just don't understand why you would, because it's made to be a top shelf courier service for B2B. To use it as a consumer to bring some stuff to your house seems like it would be way too expensive. I don't know, just my opinion, but I guess some people can afford way too expensive too. So
it's kind of ironic, because Home Depot actually focuses more on commercial, residential.
Yeah.
And Lowe's actually focuses more on that. And I guess whatever service Lowe's uses sucks, because like I see a lot of complaints about that. I know they're on Instagram, but I'm not talking Instagram. I'm talking to whoever delivers like their stuff to residential areas. Like, you get a new shower, tub, stove, whatever, And I guess whoever theirs is sucks. I hope they get in talks with more of these last mile apps, like, Roadie's nationwide, Curri's like getting everywhere too. So it's like get multiple contracts going with these last mile apps, and that's more opportunities for us,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to enlighten people to, is that I know it feels different. I've talked to so many people even who are like, oh, that one just seems like a lot more work. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's not a lot more work, but it is a little more work. There's a little more logistics, but it's nothing that anybody I know in the YouTube community that hangs around, even some of the people who just don't want to do it, that's fine. But every one of you I've talked to could be doing this. And bottom line, again, I'm going to say it every week here on here. This show is, all the shows are about something. This show is straight up about, I want to make money. Like, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to guess what the tip is. I'm not here to look for unicorns. I'm not searching. I don't care. I'm here to make money. I'm here to make money. I'm here to make money. That's what I want this show to be about. This show is going to be about, in the gig space, how you make money in last mile services. And I think you'll all find that in every market, this will outperform anything else you're doing, right? Share food delivery, grocery, etc. So that said, thank you, Bud Soda, for joining. Thank you all for joining. And join us back here next week. And we will keep having new guests on this new show, The Last Mile. Peace.
Well, midnight headlight, blinding on a rain night, steep grade up ahead, slow.